So now we are going to look at laying the foundations for 5G network slicing management and monetization, a subject close to all of our hearts, I think. And this is with Ofer Farkash, who is Products and Solutions Marketing Director, Service and Network Automation Solutions at Amdocs. Welcome, Ofer.
Thank you, Annie. Happy to be here and participate in this great event. So I'm going to talk about the key role of network slicing as the next big thing for service providers that will enable them to really monetize and unleash the potential of their 5G networks. Okay. So to begin the session, I will just recap the recent changes that are accompanying the rollout and deployment of 5G networks. And the first and most, probably most significant one is the cloudification of the network. Started with the core with NFV, but now because 5G calls for a true cloud network that utilize cloud native based network functions. It is significantly picking up. In parallel, there are several initiatives for virtualization and cloudification of the RAN, utilizing distribution of the RAN across multiple locations, and this also contributes to the acceleration of the cloudification of the edge and the network. Second is the 5G core, which is service-based and leveraging cloud-native principles to enable distributed architecture and dynamic scaling of network functions, more agility in the network. Also, service providers are looking to deploy 5G network functions from multiple vendors in order to be able to open up their network and benefit from faster time to market, better capabilities to innovate. And the third major change in comparison to previous generation of mobile networks is, of course, network slicing, which will enable service providers to really customize and fine-tune their offering to specific needs of verticals, customers, partners, and this is one of the key promises of 5G. Nevertheless, many parts of the network will continue to rely on physical appliance-based network functions. So it means that the network is going to be hybrid for many years to come. It will be a mix of virtual, containerized, and physical network functions spread over multiple domains, network, and clouds. And this introduced a lot of complexity, multi-vendor and multi-domain operational complexities. And these complexities actually impact service providers' ability to innovate and offer next generation digital agile services that meet their customer needs. So all of this means that radical changes to the way in which networks are designed, deployed, and operated are needed. 5G networks will need to be operated in a fundamentally different way than previous networks. And because of these complexities, many service providers are currently looking to obtain and implement end-to-end service orchestration capabilities and visibility to support service lifecycle management across the multiple domains of both network and cloud that 5G services will span on. At Amdocs, we help service providers to achieve this goal with our end-to-end service and network orchestration solution, which is a truly holistic solution that is responsible for the end-to-end lifecycle management of services, and we will see later on, of 5G services, starting from the onboarding of all the network functions that are responsible to support the services, all the connections between them, the modeling of the services, the orchestrating of the end-to-end life cycle of the service, the control loop, the inventory that see all the resources, all the network and cloud resources that are used by the different network functions used for different kinds of services. 3GPP also identified this need and defined um, the, the the architecture, the concept, and guidelines for managing the life cycle of network slices. And at Amdocs, one second. At Amdocs, we took these 3GP guidelines or recommendations and implemented them, enhancing our end-to-end service and network orchestration solution. So these functions, these management functions, for example, the first one is the CSMF, the Communication Services Management Function. This management function, which is defined by 3GPP, is responsible to take the service parameters, the service order, and to translate it to network slice parameters. The next function is the network slice management function, NSMF, which is responsible for all the lifecycle aspects, the instantiation of network slices end-to-end across the different network domains. And this is actually being utilized into Amdocs Open Network Orchestrator, and also the NSSMF, which stands for Network Slice Subnet Management Function, which is a management function that is responsible for the specific subnet slicing within individual domains. So as we can understand, there will be in each domain, in the run, at the core, there will be specific network slices in that domain, but end to end, there will be network slices, and these network slices have to be managed from end to end in order to ensure the performance, the quality of the service from end to end in an adaptive and responsive manner to accommodate all kinds of changes that are happening in the network, in the amount of traffic, in the amount of connected devices, connected subscribers. And something to emphasize is that at Amdocs, we adopt open standards. We are vendor agnostic and aligned to the industry standards. And we can see that okay, one second, please. Yeah, sorry. So the life cycle of network slices can be divided into four main phases. The first phase is the design of the network slice, the old creation. It starts with the onboarding of all the network functions, creating the chaining between the network function, defining the different policy for the assurance of the individual components, as well as the end-to-end service quality, defining the policies for when to deploy specific network functions in order to meet the SLA. And the next stage is the instantiation, configuration, and activation of the network slice. As soon as a network slice has to be activated, it could be, for example, let's say that service providers will offer a network slice as a service to an enterprise customer. So as soon as an enterprise customer order a dedicated network slice from the ordering system through open APIs, TMF open APIs, the orders comes to the CSMF. The CSMF, the customer, the communication services management function, understand what type of service needs to be activated, what kind of network slice, and it will instruct the network slice management functions or the end-to-end service and network orchestration in order to instantiate and deploy all the components, all the network functions across the different network and cloud domains to bring up the network slice. It is also responsible for the placement of specific network functions that are taking part in that network slice. As we can see here in this example, some network functions could be deployed at the edge in order to meet specific latency requirements, while other network functions could be shared network functions. And once a new network slice has been instantiated, of course, other 5G core components should be aware of that and needs to be configured in order to support the network slice. The next stage, of course, is the operations, the ongoing operation, making sure that this network slice meet the SLA, meet the performance. So at Amdocs, we use closed loop operation infused with AI and machine learning capabilities in order to collect fault and management data from the underlay network domains and monitoring the performance of all the components that take part in the network slice. And this is how we ensure the performance of the network slice end to end, all the way from the run into the cloud, as we can see in this example. The 5G orchestration or network slice orchestration is also responsible for a very important role, which is where to place network functions in order to ensure that the network slice will meet the performance it's supposed to. So this is a key role of the 5G orchestration as well. And at Amdocs, we also work on enabling much more intelligent automation management, automated management of 5G network slices. Because of the complexity of 5G, um, there will be a need for a greater degree of intelligent automation. And 3GPP recognized that and defined a new core function, which is called NWDAF, which stands for Network Data Analytics Functions. This new network function will collect data and monitor the performance of the 5G core functions, as well as additional monitoring from management systems in the network, in the cloud. And once you have all of this data and you take it into the 5G orchestration together with information from the policy function, you have the capability to really provide a lot of intelligent optimization of network resources, of user and application behavior in order to assure and manage services performance and experiences. One more important role of the 5G orchestrator is to unleash and enable service providers to come up with new monetization possibilities, because the 5G orchestrator, the 5G slice manager, has a lot of information about all the operational aspects, the performance, and the use of network and cloud resources it was defined by 3GPP that the network slice management function, or the end-to-end service and network management orchestrator, can act as a charging triggering function and provide information to the charging module about lifecycle management event performance and about the utilization of network resources that are taking part in the network slice. So as you can see, the 5G orchestrator will play a key and significant role in enabling service providers to monetize 5G services. And I would like to give few examples. The first one is a proof of concept that we have conducted earlier this year with a service provider in North America. These service providers was interested to experiment and test the capabilities and the processes in order to really manage network slices end to end across the different network domains. So they really practice in all the modeling aspects, how to activate network slices end to end across the different network domains. In this case, we have partnered with Mavenir, and our role was not only to provide the end-to-end network slicing management and orchestration, but also to be the 5G core orchestrator and also activate and manage the lifecycle of the 5G core functions and the placement of 5G core functions both at the core as well as at the edge, and orchestrating the network slice, the 5G core network slice subnet as well. And another example, George mentioned the cooperation of Google with the telco providers. And there are other hyperscalers like Azure, like AWS, and of course also Google. We see a lot of cooperation of the hyperscalers with service providers, enabling service providers to utilize the hyperscalers infrastructure in order to accelerate the deployment of 5G networks. In this case, we can see here an example of a joint offering of Amdocs together with Azure, where we enable service providers to utilize Azure region and Azure stack at the edge for the purpose of deploying 5G core function. In this case, we see example from Firm Networks and OpenNet, and Amdocs end-to-end service and network orchestrator is responsible for the lifecycle of the network functions that are deployed on both the telco cloud as well as the edge that is supported by Azure and the region, the Microsoft Azure region. So we see a real example how service providers are going to utilize the hyperscaler infrastructure as well as their own infrastructure in order to distribute and deploy network functions that will support 5G services over multiple network and clouds. To summarize, we can see here real examples of how end-to-end network slicing and orchestration plays a key foundation for 5G network services monetization. At Amdocs, we believe at an holistic approach for 5G management, end-to-end lifecycle management across the multiple network domains and clouds. The end-to-end service and network orchestrator is not supposed to replace the domain, the specific domain orchestrator. It will work together with each domain orchestrator and will provide a single holistic management and control across the different domain in order to ensure the network slices will meet their SLA and performance. At Amdocs, we believe in a vendor agnostic solution. We support and align our solution together with the leading industry standards. And we already work with a number of service providers across the world that experiment and also implement our solution in order to deploy their 5G networks. And with that, I would like to finish, and I invite you to contact us to learn more. Also, we are happy to book a demo, and I would like to wish you a rest of a pleasant day and enjoy the rest of the event.
Okay, I have a question for you, please. End-to-end orchestration, and actually anything end-to-end in telecoms, has been a struggle for a long time. It seems we've overcome the difficulties, but are there any particular things that are a real challenge that stand out for you?
Yes, so I think that the main challenge is integration with the different vendors. Many vendors say that they comply with open standards like ETSI standards for the um, description of their virtual network functions. But in reality, when you will get to that, to the implementation, so you find that different vendors have different interpretation of the standard. So this is something that actually we help service providers with. We provide our own expertise in this domain, and provide them additional capabilities and services to help them together with other vendors to onboard and deploy, to integrate the different network functions into the platform.
Okay, and we have another question for you, please, Ofer. 5G slicing orchestration is an additional complexity for 5G management. 5G core is virtualized and even virtualized in cloud. I see that creating multiple virtual cores could be easier to handle and manage than creating slices. What's your opinion of that? Quite a long question.
Yeah. Well, I think that, and then at the end of the day, um, I I think that the whole idea of network slices is that you will be able to utilize a single or a single infrastructure in order to support multiple types of services for a variety of customers. And while yes, you can instantiate dedicated network functions for specific customers, it may not be economical at the end of the day. And I think network slices introduce another alternative how service providers can share their cost resources and better utilize and optimize their resources in order to support multiple services over a shared infrastructure.
Okay, thank you. That was interesting, and we're going to explore the role that Amdocs plays in helping simplify things for telcos, and look at your relationship, particularly with Microsoft Azure at the panel at 13:05. Thank you so much for your talk. It was interesting.
Thank you.